Hey everyone, today we're going to be making Japanese curry. One of the key ingredients to this is a curry roux. Now, you can make it from scratch, but that's for another video. Today we're going to be using the boxed curry roux. You can find this at pretty much any Asian grocery store and even in some normal grocery stores in America now. The type I like is Vermont curry. Now, you can use whatever you can find, but if you can find Vermont, I highly recommend that one. To get started, you're gonna cut up 2 carrots. I have really tiny ones, so I'm gonna do 4 instead. And I'm just doing a little rotating chop to give it some variety and texture and appearance. Just cut those into bite-sized pieces, and then set them aside for later. Then you're gonna slice an onion thinly. You're gonna do about 2 medium ones. I'm using 1 large and 2 small because that's what I had and I didn't want to waste food. Then you're gonna cut into bite-sized pieces 2 large russet potatoes. You're gonna cut them in half and then into about 1/8 or 1/10. Throw those into a bowl of cold water so that the starch can soak out of them and set them aside. Meanwhile, dice a piece of Why did I do that? Okay, dice 4 pieces of garlic. Cloves, what am I saying? Yeah, so just dice those cloves of garlic. And set them aside for later. Next, you're gonna take 1.5 pounds of stewed beef cut into chunks and cover it in flour. Not really a precise measurement, just however much you need. Stir to coat the beef with all of the flour. This is gonna help us develop a crust when we brown it on the bottom of our pan. So we're gonna be using a heavy-bottomed Dutch oven. Just throw that over medium-high heat and add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil into the bottom of your pan. Then when it's hot, add in your beef, and we're just now browning it and creating a fond on the bottom to leave a little bit of extra flavor in for the next step. Now, you may have to do this in batches in order to prevent crowding, which will cause a lot of liquid to come, and you'll boil your beef instead of grilling it or frying it, whatever. So yeah, I'm doing that. Once you're done with that, add in your sliced onions with a little bit more oil and give it a stir. Now we're gonna cook these until they're translucent. Oh yeah, add a little bit of salt to this to help the moisture evaporate. This is gonna take a couple minutes, so pour yourself a Sapporo and relax. Now we're gonna add in the garlic to our onions and give it a nice stir. Cook that for about a minute before taking about a 1/2 inch of ginger and grating it into your aromatics. Then add in about 1 tablespoon of tomato paste and give that a nice mix, get everything incorporated. And throw in your carrots, your drained potatoes, and your beef. Give it a nice sprinkle of curry powder if you want, and then we're gonna add about 4 cups of water, or in my case, I'm gonna use beef broth. Now bring that up to a boil. And once you have that going, you should notice that there begins to appear some scum at the top. This is completely optional, but it adds for a smoother sauce. Just take a mesh strainer and strain that off. Once it's clear, you're gonna cover it and set it on the back burner for about an hour until the potatoes are soft. This is the perfect time for you to make some Japanese rice. If you wanna see how to do that perfectly, I have a video I uploaded last week detailing my personal favorite process. You're also gonna have to grate 1 sweet apple. I'm using a Pink Lady, and then I'm gonna pour myself a Japanese whiskey I got from a Japanese friend. Thank you, Moe. Then we're gonna unlid the pot after an hour, grate in that apple that we peeled. I'm using a daikon grater if you're curious. Then we're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of apricot jam, 1 tablespoon of heavy cream, and 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. We're also gonna squirt in about 1 tablespoon of ketchup. Then we're gonna take our blocks of curry roux and the mesh strainer and grate them into the sauce. I'm gonna use the entire packet, and you're gonna do this until it's nice and thick. Now it's time to pour it over some nice Japanese rice. Oh yeah, you're gonna want a lot of this. Garnish it with some pickled ginger. And it's time to dig in. All right, let's see how this tastes. Ooh, it's hot. But it is amazing. This is one of my favorite dishes, and I highly recommend you try it. It is mind-blowing. It will change your life forever. You will not be able to stop thinking about this curry. So get your butt to the store and give this one a try. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some curry to eat.